We discussed Ashley Ray's critique of the intruder theory, focusing on the lack of evidence, such as undisturbed cobwebs, Burke's fingerprints on a pineapple bowl as well as Patsy's, and the peculiar ransom note. Ashley argues these details, along with the family's actions, like inviting friends over before police arrived, point more toward internal involvement than an outside perpetrator. We moved on to the stun gun theory, which suggests that JonBenét's attacker used a stun gun to subdue her, but Ashley Ray dismisses this idea as baseless. She argues that the marks on JonBenét's body likely came from a toy or something within the household, and she highlights the absence of forensic evidence like residue or burns that would be from a stun gun. Ashley sees the persistence of this stun gun theory as sensationalism, which overshadows more plausible explanations. But in this video, we want to highlight her thoughts on the Netflix documentary. So to start, her article critiques the Netflix documentary on the JonBenet Ramsey case, accusing it of presenting half-truths and misleading suggestions. She expresses disbelief at the documentary's narrative, stating that, "I wrote this after watching the Netflix doc. I couldn't believe the half-truths and misleading suggestions it made." Her criticisms highlight concerns about the documentary's objectivity and accuracy. To move forward, I want to first take a step back to understand what was the point of the Netflix documentary, though. So, Cold Case, Who Killed JonBenet Ramsey is a three-part Netflix documentary series directed by Joe Berlinger and was released on November 25 of 2024. The series revisits the 1996 murder of 6-year-old JonBenet Ramsey with an intent to examine the investigative missteps by law enforcement and the media frenzy that surrounded the case. It features interviews with key figures, including JonBenét's father, John Ramsey, and utilizes crime scene footage and reconstructs narratives to provide a more comprehensive overview of the case. John Ramsey participated in the series to shed light on the mishandling of the investigation and to advocate for renewed efforts to solve his daughter's murder. He has been critical of the initial focus on his family as suspects and hopes that the documentary will prompt authorities to apply modern forensic techniques to the case. Director Joe Berlinger aimed to re-examine the case by highlighting the flaws in the original investigation and the impact of media sensationalism. By presenting new interviews and insights, according to Berlinger, he seeks to encourage a fresh perspective on the case with the ultimate goal of advancing the pursuit of justice for JonBenet Ramsey, which is really all any one of us could ask for. However, one of Ashley's major points of contention is the documentary's portrayal of the intruder theory. She argues that the documentary gives undue credibility to this theory while trying to downplay evidence that suggests the family's involvement. This selective presentation of information can shape public perception in a way that may not necessarily align with the full scope of available evidence, according to Ashley's theory. External reviews and other YouTubers have echoed similar concerns. A critique in The Sun quotes the documentary's director, Joe Berlinger, acknowledging that certain leads were overblown and not yet substantiated. The article notes that the director of the Netflix docuseries on JonBenet Ramsey has dismissed claims that her father, John Ramsey, received a significant letter naming her killer outright. As we've stated before, the Netflix docuseries Cold Case has garnered both attention and criticism since its release. Critics have noted that the series doesn't offer any new insights into the case, where Vulture commented that it doesn't really offer a new take. Some reviewers feel that the documentary oversimplifies complex aspects of the investigation, potentially overlooking cultural nuances that could provide a more comprehensive understanding. Den of Greek expressed skepticism about the necessity of the series, suggesting that it raises more questions than answers. Despite these critiques, the series has reignited public interest in the decades-old mystery, prompting renewed discussions about the tragic death of JonBenet Ramsey. So, to recap, we've looked briefly at Ashley's skepticism of the Netflix documentary and how it could be misleading given that it skews in favor of the Ramseys. Although the documentary aimed to re-examine the case and reignite public interest, critics point out its lack of new insights and oversimplification of complex investigative details could ultimately confuse individuals as to the true nature of the case. Ultimately, the debates surrounding these theories and the documentary continue to reflect the enduring mystery of JonBenet's tragic death, as there are some who have been swayed more toward the intruder theory, while others have been swayed further away. At any rate, we'll continue to explore this theory in the next video, where we'll talk about her take on the unexplained DNA evidence. But until then, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. And until next time, take it easy and happy holidays.